Well,
All
we
right.
did it. We did it. We did it. It's Thursday. And Gene, we have the sauciest of all stories coming up first.
Right. Just so you know, normally we're like, today's economy is. No, we're going to go there. We're competing with the flying saucer people, Dave.
I know. Guys, as you're filing in, Tracy, Darren, Donald, share the link to the show on your profiles with your friends and families.
Yeah.
They'll love it. They'll love it
Guys,
today.
could you do that?
It's gonna be juicy. Please. We got juicy stuff.
See, normally we're giving you information, and this is information, but we have to talk about it because it's politics.
Cheryl's here. Very good.
All right. So
very good.
What, Dave?
They had sex. They had sex. They tried to say they didn't have sex. Oh, it was just some text. It was just some text messages. That's all it was. Nope.
Now I do. Wait, is this bona fide? Is this reported by like a?
Yeah, he confessed. He confessed up. It's in the Daily Mail.
Okay.
And he's stepping away from the campaign. Well, we knew that. Now he's stepping away from pastoral responsibilities.
You think? You think?
Yeah, I think.
All right, we're talking about Action Jackson.
Trish is here. Yeah, so. Action Jackson Laymeyer. And I mean, this is
okay. Okay, Dave. When a person goes for they become even better. Okay, Dave. When they go to become a congressman or congresswoman, they get freshman orientation, right? All right.
Right.
The NFL. When you go into the NFL, you get rookie, rookie, like, oh, all these women are going to come over. You got to protect your money, all this stuff. They get classes. You know that, right? The first. Okay. Why do we need you're running for major office classes with this? Like, does this guy not know that?
Now, hold on a second. Normally, if it's a substantial seat, you're going to get those classes from your donors.
No, you don't think United States congressmen? Okay, you don't think that would be qualifies as hey, you know what? Are there any skeletons, sir? Is there any skeletons in your closet, sir?
Yeah, well, they do that when you have. I would assume that this is how it happens. Donors get together, and they don't like the guy that's running in there now. Well, there's an empty seat. So they get together and they say, well, we need a candidate. What about this guy? And then they'll do background checks. Okay.
Now, maybe he went through the cracks because, like at the very least, wait a minute, this guy has a mega church. He's a stand-up guy. Everyone loves him. Maybe it would just slip through the cracks. Or what do you think is going on here? You would think that, all right. Anyone that ever ran for anything, before they do that, they're a businessman, they go, man, I've been in business so many years. If I run for this, let's see, there's any skeletons in the closet. And that's the first thought you go through. You don't think that somewhere along the line?
Dude, I just think he said himself in the article, he never thought that it would come out, even though he had saved text messages on his phone. And he has co-pastor responsibilities with his wife. He didn't think she would ever look on his phone.
Okay, now, do you not see, I'm praising him, do you not see the genius of Thomas Massey with the boner phone? The boner phone. Right?
Yeah, that would be genius if he didn't tell anyone about it. But these guys are all clucks. First of all, I'm going to tell you right now, they'd never make it in certain circles because they would get the Tommy treatment where they would walk into the empty room and that would be the last thing they saw. Because these people are, I mean, look, Massey, MTG, and all of that. They're cunning connivers, but they're also nitwits. These are not smart people. The only reason Margie Green made money is because she was in Washington as an insider and got insider information and made trades based on that.
Right, and you're allowed to.
Fact, it's public.
Yeah, you are allowed to. The laws allow you to.
Yes, I know.
All right.
And she took advantage of it. Then she took advantage of the whole Trump thing until Trump told her, no, you're not running for Senate. You're not going to win. And she got mad and went on a revenge tour.
With Action Jackson, basically what happened is, of course, he stepped down yesterday, but today the news broke, I think, from the Daily Mail that he, wait a minute, he interviewed with him, didn't he? He interviewed him? Anyway.
Well, he responded to them, and then also he had a big 30-minute. He gave the members, I guess, the higher echelon members of his congregation, 30 minutes, and he laid out for them what he did. You know, and I'm sure it was all rehearsed.
Listen, I will say this: I think he did the right thing at this point. He had to step down. I don't even think he had a choice. How are you gonna?
No, he can't. He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice. And this is all they're going to be talking about because, you know,
well,
look, if he had come out immediately and said, "Look, I made a mistake. Yes, I got weak with this woman. We were working very closely and everything else. I made a big mistake." That's it. The Band-Aid comes off one shot.
Right.
That's not what he did.
Right. No, because
it's just some text messages. Oh, and then it was this, and then it was a little more, and then I developed an emotional attachment, and then now it's we were having sex.
No, because what it is, I walked everyone through it. Everyone knew it was going to be a runoff because there's just too many. Mathematically, it's going to be a runoff because it's too many candidates there. But when you have a runoff, they saved a heavy ammunition for the runoff.
Right.
So the fact that he said this at first and says, well, it was just inappropriate, I went too far. I hate to say, like, that's great and wonderful, right? And then people then it was like, okay, well, it looks like they kissed or whatever.
Right.
This thing was going to come out. I mean, it was full on sex. All right.
Stella, give us a tad bit more information. Facebook acting crazy with lives. What's that mean? All right. Anyway. So it's so this is what we want to talk about.
We're talking about Ashton Jackson. They're like,
Mary Elizabeth's here.
Should we beep them? Should we do the beeping? All right.
It's just you know, okay. And then he holds himself up in the various sermons and on his speaking tours, always talking about family values. All of these family values. As soon as you see a politician or one of these characters get up there and start talking family values, immediately dismiss them because they have no family values.
All right.
It's true, though, isn't it?
No, I'm just as frustrated with this because once again, and this is a long line of them. It's like when a person gets called a hypocrite and they're running for office, this is what they say on the left. Forget the network crowd. This is what they say on the left. They're all hypocrites. They all preach about family values. They don't like the gays, but look at them. And
that's another thing. If some politician's platform is anti-gay, anti-trans, and everything, guaranteed that guy is kink dressy. He's putting on a dress and big and fake boobs and a wig every night, and prancing around in heels because that's how it goes. All of these people, the gays, it has to be, you know, we have to do away with the gays or whatever. That guy's gay. It proves itself out every single time.
On the live show, you can't say, "Oh, we don't like the gays." Bingo, you're gay.
Find the politician in the crowd who's anti-gay. That's a gay guy.
Oh, all right.
I'm telling you, it's every single time. Never fails.
Hello, I want to talk about family values.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right, Dave, you want to get to, so we get to
And
work.
here's another thing. Between the gays, the trans, the LGBT community, the whole bit, I mean, people are spending far too much time on what's going on in homosexual bedrooms. I mean, don't you think? I mean, don't we have other stuff that's happening that we need to? I mean, my business occupies me all day long. I don't have time to be in other people's business.
But it gets, I think, okay, the whole thing is, I'm sure that it gets votes. I mean, this whole family values Christian. That's why it was so egregious. It's because he was the family values. He was a Christianity person.
Right, but that's the whole point. That's the whole point. They run these guys. I'm telling you, they probably did not expect that this was going to come out. So they run these guys. They have this like thing over their heads, so they become puppets. What else going to be?
I didn't think about that. All right, Dave, you ready to go? We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to start the show.
Wait, hold on a second. They are working their way to our kids, and that's not cool. Who are you talking about, Phil?
No, he's talking about that. That's why he is one of the family values voters guy. That's why that movement is big with the school libraries and all this stuff.
Yeah, all I'm saying is if parents didn't take their children to the obviously cross-dressing guy reading poetry to their children, if they didn't take them to see them, guess what would happen? The library would stop inviting them. That's what would happen. How do you think TV shows get canceled? No one watches them. I'm not going to watch that.
What?
And the show gets canceled.
Oh my goodness. All right. You ready to go?
I'm saying, it's so ridiculous. Everyone's up in arms. You're giving it more oxygen. You're giving it the oxygen it needs to carry on.
All right.
Let it die on the vine.
All right.
You know, cross-dressers reading poetry to children? I don't think so.
Dave, we got to work. We got to go to work.
All right.
Can I sell some hats?
Yes, Mary Elizabeth. Thank you.
Go to David.
Shouldn't sexuality be personal and private? Yes. Unless you're a politician running an anti-gay platform, that means you're gay.
All right. All right, Dave. Come on. I'm trying to sell some caps.
Might as well wear a big G or a big G on your shirt like Nancy Mace. Pull a Mace.
It was not. Should we do a Mace minute? Here we do.
Yeah, let's do a Mace minute. We haven't done a Mace minute in a while.
Here was a simple question.
You're always invited.
Okay, sweet. Well,
and by the way, I voted for gay marriage twice.
What does that have to do with me?
So I'm just saying, it has everything to do with you.
You think everything about me has to do with gay marriage?
I do,
That's
absolutely.
Your stance when you speak with me?
Absolutely.
There's no other humane
if you want to get in my face about town halls, you should have shown up to one last year.
There's no other thing you can talk about me just saying, oh, I support gay marriage.
Yeah,
that's
because you're getting in my face about a town hall. You could have gone last year.
Would you like me? If you have any plans to have more town halls this year?
I have town halls every year. I have over a dozen every year.
Great. That was my entire question. You didn't have to go to the spiel.
You could have come to any of them last year.
Okay. And
I had over a dozen.
2024.
Where were you the year before that? Okay. Or the year before that?
It was a simple question.
Oh, because you know what? Because you people on the left are crazy.
Gene, she's absolutely right. I just want, I'm filming you now, Gene.
Wait. You voted for driver safety?
That's right. I voted for gay marriage. There it is.
You see the guy he's like, what does it have to do with me? It has everything to do with you.
Now, who does this? Somebody comes up to you in a supermarket. You're an elected official. Come up to you in a drugstore, whatever, and they go, "Hey, you having another town hall soon?" And you immediately pull out your phone and start filming them. And
Okay, I'm just saying.
She's a cool.
Then with that unprovoked, she goes, "I voted for gay marriage."
That's
Like,
right. Because
like,
she
what the-
immediately sensed that this was a gay man.
All right.
Her gaydar was up, and she immediately sensed that that this was a gay man, and she was going to not let it slip. He wasn't going to fool her. He wasn't tricking her.
Might trick some other people, but not me. All right.
He wouldn't have done that to Tim Scott.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We got to get
Let's
serious.
do it. We got serious Cheyenne Mountain talk coming up.
All right. Really quickly, be sure to share this
Yes.
with all your friends. All right.
Yes.
Here we go.
I want to hear about Cheyenne Mountain talk is coming up. So please share this, and you will not be disappointed.
Yes, we already went away. We all the things we already talked about. All right, we got to talk serious stuff. Here is the lead story from the Dispatch. We're talking about the Senate Clarity Act vote. Notice it says nightmare here because we are breaking it down for you. And what it boils down to is a battle between the old school bankers and the new school, quote unquote, bankers, which is the crypto boys.
Right. Now, there's no mystery here. There's no, they're making us slaves, and they're gonna, keep us in cages under the basement of our homes. There's no mystery here. It's not like the bankers are doing bad. Whenever you make a transaction,
right,
whether it's with your checks or a wire or something like that, there's always a top tier bank involved as a middleman. So with the Clarity Act, those top tier level banks get eliminated from the transaction. In other words, they don't get their cut. So that's the driving force of why they're opposing the Clarity Act.
Okay, once again, because it's so easy to say, the greedy bankers, the greedy bankers and all this stuff. You understand that this is how it works. For example, if you wire someone to their bank, it's like, okay, it's more than just what's your routing number, account number. Right. Some banks have they call it a receiving bank or beneficiary bank.
No,
it goes there first.
So your bank, in other words, if I wire money to you, there's first the
beneficiary.
The beneficiary bank, that's your bank.
Receiving
bank. The receiving bank. So first you have the receiving bank. That's like a Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Citibank. That's the receiving bank. They get the money first, take a piece for whatever reason, and then forward the money onto the recipient's bank, the beneficiary bank.
And guys, just so you know, we all understand it, okay? Because I seen this on X. Someone says, "Oh, when you put your money in the bank, it's not really your money." Guys, it's your money, but obviously they're a bank, so they're not taking your paycheck of $1,000 and sitting there and like, "Oh, let's look, it's pretty. That belongs to him." Of course, they lend it out. Like, so we understand that it's a real business is how they do it. It's just that with crypto, it's not totally eliminating it, but it is cutting into some of their things that they do.
Right. So in other words, once the Clarity Act passes, and XRP can be used as the transaction mechanism. So then if I wire money to you, it's instant. There is no intermediary. There's nothing. It's boom, boom, and that's it.
Right. Okay. So just want to let you know that this back and forth chasing, these are the clash of the titans, because this is like Coinbase and all their people that are legally lobbying these politicians. And then there's the big bankers like Jamie Dimon. Okay. This is from the already started Genius Act. Here we go. 1 minute.
There's a changing of the guard, if you haven't noticed, in the financial world. Fintech names are coming on so powerfully. Look at this. That's year to date. And a large part of it is the growing acceptance of crypto. Crypto is absolutely changing the game. And those are your winners. Take a look at the worst performers. Large banks are not living up to the hype. Everyone said they were going to dominate this year. And my next guest says that banks now are trying to do something about it. Derail the Genius Act. I'm going to bring in our Blockchain Association CEO, Summer Mersinger. Summer, so walk us through exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me on today. The biggest issue we have in front of us right now is the large banks are trying to undo what is settled law. The Genius Act was signed into law by President Trump in early July. It's the first piece of legislation to be passed through Congress and signed into law by Trump that deals with digital assets. And now we have big banks coming in and trying to say that there are loopholes that need to be closed in this bill.
Yeah. So this is the thing. The Genius Act passes. Everybody is on board. The big banks are on board. The crypto guys are on board. Everything's been negotiated, right? It's already law for a year. Now the banks are looking at their bottom lines going, we got to do something about this Genius Act. So now they're resurrecting the problem, saying, there are loopholes in this, and we got to close those loopholes.
We've been explaining what to follow here. Reminder with the Clarity Act, and it does not, with all these people, get rid of the Federal Reserve and all this stuff. Just stop it with that. You can read it yourself. It's not me. You can read the copy of what the bill is, but that already cleared the hurdle of the House. Now it's at the Senate. And Tim Scott, who is pro the crypto people, they're trying to work it out to get 60 votes. And that's the problem with that. Chances are they're going to figure something out, and then it goes back if there's no changes, but there will be changes.
Hey, here's a banker. That's right. No more flow.
Oh, Teresa. Hey.
That's it.
We got to get her on the show.
That's the term.
The old floating the dollar, the check trick.
Yeah, the only other banking term that we really know from neighborhood guys is a term called kiting.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Gene knows kiting. Oh, that's
I do not know kiting. Hey, I had to. Mr. Ho, did you ever kite a check?
Yeah.
Come on, I'm ready for office. All right.
Exactly.
All right. Can we get Teresa on the show? Could she do that?
Teresa's all right. All right. So that's what's going on. But once the Clarity Act passes, there are trillions. I mean, forget about it. Aside from the Clarity Act, which will actually have to be passed once we have the data centers all going up, and like they have been, and this Clarity Act passes, our GDP in this country will grow between 6% and 7%.
Right. Okay. Once again, we've had this theme at George Magazine about the golden age here. Okay. So there's a fixing of the banking. It's not the getting rid of the Federal Reserve. We want that. You have this, and now we have with the banking, with the crypto. Add to that real changes in the medical industry. Some of it's part with the AI, some of it's not. Some of it's just very smart people looking for cures. But in our dispatch, we talked about this. Cures for certain cancer is a realistic goal in the next decade. And this is from Johnson & Johnson, which Johnson & Johnson already have a new, I think it's in Pennsylvania, don't quote me, a new cancer center that they're building there. But there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, they're working in conjunction with Johns Hopkins as well. But now listen, if your mind has already been polluted with the LSD of medbeds, then you're going to find this very boring, because this is traditional medicine that's utilizing AI, and like Gene said, just a lot of top researchers looking for real cures.
Right. Now, first of all, it doesn't even like one of the things that we're trying to bring out is like, does it even make sense? Right? Does it even make sense that you could just go in a bed and then whatever it is, no matter what it is, it's all cured? Really? Does it even make sense that
it makes sense to all those people in Cheyenne Mountain where all of this stuff is? No one can see it. No one knows about it except Juan O'Savin and those guys. They're the only ones apparently who have been told, Derek Johnson, they've been told, and that's why they're allowed to tell us so that they can get clicks and views. So the military has everything in Cheyenne Mountain, and this is what we're told.
I don't know if Juan O'Savin ever mentioned
that. He never mentioned Cheyenne Mountain. Only every speech. Only every speech.
We don't know if the med beds. Seriously, the reason why I'm strict on the med bed stuff is
Here's what I want to know. Here's what I want to know. If the military has these med beds, why isn't Trump in a med bed? He's got the swollen ankles. He's got the bruise on his hand. He's got he's looking older and everything else. Why isn't he in the med? Why aren't they using med beds? The military on the commander-in-chief, President Donald Trump. Why isn't he in a med bed?
Okay, let me explain. Okay, just let me explain how this industry works. Okay, please don't cut it up. Even if someone had a med bed, okay, they have a med bed. What are you going to do? Sleep in the med bed here for a little bit, cure all your things, and they pay me 10 grand?
Look, you don't understand how this works, Gene. The military invented the med beds, and they got it in Cheyenne Mountain. As a matter of fact, President Trump must be using the med beds, and the guy we see at Versailles and at the G7 is his doppelganger body double. So knowing President Donald Trump and how he likes to make himself as handsome as possible, he's young and in the med bed in Cheyenne Mountain and sends out the old man doppelganger to appear in public with the swollen ankles and the comb over and the whole thing. Right? Doesn't that make sense to people?
Guys.
Why would they use the med beds on Queen Elizabeth? Why did they let the Queen of England, the royal family, serve 50 years as the Queen? She don't get no med bed.
Reminder for people that the whole thing about follow the money. If there were a med bed, SpaceX IPO would look like baby time business. What you do is they bring it out here and they say, give me anyone that's sick, anybody. They cure them, and then they say, go in public, IPO next week. And the person that has it becomes...
You're missing the point that this is a military operation in conjunction with the Galactic Federation of Worlds. And probably Valnek is involved. What I want to know is, why isn't Paul McCartney in the med bed? I watched this poor old guy on the last Stephen Colbert show, and he's showing. I mean, he's showing real things going on.
The Beatles
worse
would be
than
a candidate.
Jagger. He's looking worse than Jagger. And
the
why
Beatles would be
these guys have all the money in the world? They can't get in the med bed. They can't buy their way into a med bed.
Right. And newsflash, because I hear it all the time. Elvis is not in a med bed.
Yes. See, now I can buy this. Trump really is JFK, and he's been using a med bed since he was shot. Phil, I got to tell you, you can earn $1 million on X promoting that.
Okay, guys, let's go back to realism land here, because with this is really what's going on. There are cures, or at least in clinical trials. But this is breaking news. This is from not too long ago. 1 minute. Here we go.
So we're getting the results at the first major clinical trial of a pancreatic cancer drug. This drug has already been fast-tracked for approval by the FDA, and it's shown to double survival rates for the thousands of patients in the U.S. with advanced stages of pancreatic cancer. And you know, pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest ones out there. Last week, the FDA says it'll let the drug give this medicine to patients outside clinical trials. Let me bring in Erica Edwards now. Can you cut through the medical jargon here, Erica? Because, you know, our team looking at this, and it's just literally 5 Eastern came off, you know, we were able to report this. Big headline, it seems, right? That it could change the way cancer is treated. What does this breakthrough mean?
Hey, Hallie, you know, every single cancer doctor I spoke to about this was so hopeful, called it a game changer. And as you said, you know, pancreatic cancer is devastating because it's usually caught way too late, and doctors haven't had good options for patients other than some chemo.
Okay, so there are real things going on, guys, and you know,
but Gene, there's one more caveat. And Trish, who's a great lady, and she's a tremendous follower of us. She brings out this very, very, very important point, and that is that that's the wrong one.
I like them.
No, that's still the wrong one. What the world? Okay, here we go. Trish, don't forget that you need to be in a high vibration. You got to be in a you can't, if you're in a low vibration, it's no good. Medbed's not going to work. You got to be high. Can't be low. High. You got to be in high vibration for this to, for these things to be effective. Now, that's according to Valnek from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. But, you know,
so, you know, during this whole time with all these things going on, I had my friend that baptized me died of I believe it was throat cancer.
Right.
And, you know, during this time, everyone was like, oh, it's just so simple. No one ever needs to die from cancer. Yeah, this seeds, apricot seeds, whatever.
Yeah, eat the apricot seeds. You'll be cured.
Guys, you know, this is some serious stuff. There's some serious doctors working on this. And we, you know, just stop it with that and giving people false hope. Okay.
Right. And listen, that's why we, that Gene and I especially mock that kind of thinking so bad, because it hurts people.
The whole thing, Dave,
right?
Okay, the whole thing hurts people.
Yeah.
It's not only that. Oh, they have them secretly. Do you know how many people came up to me before and said, "Could you talk to Trump to get me in a med bed?" These are false hope. The other false hope is this Sarah stuff. Will there be relief? Yes. Or at least Donald Trump is putting together the sovereign wealth fund. He's put together the savings account for the children. These are real things that are happening. But when someone goes out there like a lottery ticket that they're going to win it, or it's harmful to people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now look what's going on with the President Trump and the Trump administration are looking to gain a percentage of all of the major AI companies for the American people, okay, and bring it into the public trust, so that the American people can be paid dividends off of the AI expansion. So what do you think the devil, Bernie Sanders, and all of these progressive whack jobs do? They're out there now campaigning that the federal government should take 50% of all of those companies for the American people.
Right. 50%. So then why bother doing it?
Right. That's what happens. See, it's something where they'll get all of the dummies on the far left to go, yeah, we want 50%, not that lousy 10% or 15% that Trump said. We should get 50%. And then all the money and the angel investors and the all the investments into AI, guess what happens? It dries up, because there's no way they're going to ever make their money back.
Right. Going along with this, Dave, this was in the Dispatch. This really, the money involved in this, and I just want to show you this, because this isn't one of those jobs where you say, oh, who cares? No one wants to do that. you hear that all the time. Like, okay, well, picking the apples from the field. No one wants to do that. These jobs that are coming through these data centers are the jobs that you want. These are the show-off jobs where people say, hey, what do you do for a living? And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm a data analyst, or I work with data security.
This, I know it's this quiet segment, but Teresa says, my uncle passed of pancreatic cancer. This would be miraculous to have an effective treatment. And then Trish weighs in. Her dad died from pancreatic cancer. When he was diagnosed, they gave him a year. He passed 3 weeks later. It was so sad and very bad cancer. Yeah, see, this is what we're talking about. So when there are real bona fide advancements, we're going to bring that to everybody so you can share good information around as opposed to nonsense.
Why would you say that if you don't even know? Why would you talk to people and give them hope about a med bed that you just sleep in the bed and you turn younger? Why would you even do that? Just so you know, look, I'm going to just say it like this. I heard it all the time because people were saying that Bob Joyce could be Elvis, even though Elvis would be 91 years old or whatever. And they all say that he's too young. I was I was there. And people were like, no, that's really Elvis in a med bed. He turned younger. That's why he's able to do that. Even though there's photos of his wife in high school matching the age that they are. But I know this because in the congregation all the time, people visiting. Oh, there's med beds. And they come up to me. If you're hanging out with Elvis, then you must have access to a med bed. And they go, to me, with people dying, could you ask Donald Trump to do this with a med bed and all this stuff?
Yeah.
You know how sick that is? That anyone that perpetrated that and then tied it in with Elvis, which Bob Joyce already said he wasn't Elvis. I'm defending him. He is not Elvis. He said it, unless he's a liar. So stop it with this med bed stuff.
To Bob's credit,
yes,
Bob has spoken numerous times that he's
right.
not out. But
then when I say,
you know what it is. It's that he never comes out and says, "No, I am not Elvis." What he does say is, "I've always been who I am."
And whenever I talk about this, just ask him. Right. Ask him when you go there and you travel into his thing. Don't say that Gene Ho's attacking him. I'm defending Bob Joyce. Ask him, are you Elvis Presley? And when he says, if he does, I am who I am. No, say, no. Are you? I am who I am.
Say no.
Right, because I believe in him as a good man that he'll say no. So I am not attacking him. But that med bed stuff is all over the church from people visiting because they're saying, how could he possibly be that young?
Right.
Oh, it's med beds. These are people so thankful. If you have a relative that died from pancreatic cancer, that you could go, this is good because it harmed my family. And now we have this, and maybe another family won't be harmed. But these are real doctors working with real scientists. Okay. Oh my goodness. I gotta stop. What am I doing? Okay.
All right. Yeah. Let's take a look at this because this has to be a spammer. The CIA hid ivermectin. First of all, the CIA isn't hiding anything. CIA, those guys can barely hide themselves. The CIA hid ivermectin cancer-fighting properties of pancreatic enzymes. Cancer cures have been deliberately covered up. See, you got to stop this. If that's the case, the two people here that had family members that died, right? They need to file a lawsuit with today with the CIA, right? Because if they did it, they're responsible, and we have the president that will hold them feet to the fire, and we could get to the bottom of it. All right, I gotta stop here. Right, please. All right,
see,
because there's absolutely no proof or evidence. You get into court, all right, you file a lawsuit, and you have to, in the lawsuit, show some form of proof. What are you going to say? The CIA's been hiding this? They're going to look at you like you're crazy.
All right. Let's
keep going.
Okay, let me at least do this one, okay? And then because we still got to do the devotional, and I want to talk about the fighter jets, which is good. Really quick, guys. these are the jobs coming to for the data centers. These are beautiful jobs, and pray, all thanks to Microsoft. Okay, in this case, here we go. 47
In this
seconds.
case.
Microsoft data centers are not just buildings filled with servers. They're a long-term investment in the community. When we build a data center, we bring opportunity, growth, and innovation to the region. Our data centers generate a wave of employment. First, by creating hundreds of construction jobs for local residents during the build phase, and then adding data center operations jobs when we power up the first building. Data center operations roles are stable, family wage jobs, starting with around 50 full-time positions and expanding with every new building. From data center technicians and logistics managers to critical environment technicians, over 27 types of roles are required to keep one data center running.
Beautiful. Seriously. These are the jobs that we want. And so Dave, we said this to your credit before. If there are plants, when I say that, propaganda plants in there that try to slow this down and convince other people, when another city or a town gets one of these and they become wealthy, they're going to be like, "Oh my goodness, you try to talk me out of this stuff." These are great jobs. These are prestigious
and there are training centers opening up. The data center people behind each data center, whether it's Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, whoever, are setting up training centers to train people for these jobs. And these are not, cashier jobs. Or supermarket bagger jobs. These are good jobs that you can be trained for and take advantage of.
And I'm saying this because people want this. You go someplace, you go, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" "Yeah, I'm a data logistics manager for the data center," or you're like data security or whatever. These are really, really good jobs. Okay.
Right. And they're opening up, and I'm going to tell you that the money that's coming in over these things, and this is going back to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders looking for the government to take half of these companies is the kill shot. That's the kill shot that rewards our adversaries.
Right. Okay.
Now, hold on one second, okay. G, because you be in on this. Let's see. Here we go. But guys, even Trump said hydroxy and ivermectin have been kept from the public. I don't think he ever said they were kept from the public because hydroxychloroquine has been used for generations, and so is ivermectin.
Okay, no, let me just say this and what it is. I'm not anti-drug. I'm not anti-ivermectin or whatever. I really am not with this. All we're saying is it's not like a cure. It's not like a cure-all for every single thing that's wrong with something that it is. Correct. So, here's the other thing about it. I'm going to just say this. I am also not a shill for the medical community. I know that the medical community has also taken advantage of people to jack the prices of all these things up. I know that. I'm not saying that it's all perfect and wonderful. But to say and wrap it all up that it's like a secret conspiracy, when if it was that with the med beds, they could just bring it public and it would make SpaceX IPO look like baby time business, because all countries would need that to go all heal younger, when quite frankly, the real hope for everlasting life is in the Bible with the Lord Jesus Christ.
Well, that's true. See, the other thing is that, and I'm an avid taker of supplements, various vitamins, this, that, and the other. I have been for 30 years. But here's the thing. In order for the supplement makers, the supplement manufacturers to make money, they have to convince you that you need this supplement. right? And it's got to be something that you're not getting from food, you're not getting from your diet. You need this additional supplement. So they have to convince you first that you need it. Then they have to convince you that you can't get it really anywhere else and that your doctors have been hiding this information from you. Then you'll buy their product. It's called marketing.
Okay.
Dave, I know you guys are smart and you know this stuff. I'm just reiterating it to you because sometimes in the fog, it kind of gets lost.
All right, guys, we have to move along here because I do want to get this in. This is the devotional for today.
Yes.
Since we've been doing this, we do about an hour show every Monday through Friday, and we made the decision, and we feel that this is one of the ways that we could return back to the Lord is to play it in full. This one today is a little bit over 5 minutes, but it's a very good one.
It's about the faithfulness of God, how God, even when we get weak, God remains faithful. He cannot deny himself.
Okay. So let me play this, and when we come back, I have a couple other stories, including, you got to see this video, this jet, the 47.
Yes.
We'll show you the video.
Yes, we're going to show you the brand new 47 jet.
Yeah. Okay. A little bit over 5 minutes, guys. Please enjoy it, and I hope you be encouraged by this. Here we go.
We build our lives expecting the ground to hold, but the reality is that absolute reliability is a myth. Even the strongest foundations eventually fracture, interrupted by our own fatigue, selfishness, and shifting priorities. Proverbs 26 notes this societal vacuum. Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? It highlights a reality where everyone claims reliability, but true unwavering consistency is nearly impossible to locate. Contrast this with the nature of God. He possesses attributes that humanity simply cannot touch. He is eternal, omnipotent, and infinite. These characteristics separate him entirely from the frailty of human limitations. Among these infinite traits, his perfect, unalterable faithfulness stands out. It acts as the ultimate anchor, holding steady not just the mechanics of the universe, but the life of the individual believer. To understand this profound security, we have to look closely at how this reliability is structured. We can deconstruct the architecture of God's faithfulness across 4 distinct domains, moving from the cosmic scale down to the intensely personal. The first domain operates on a massive historical scale. God initiates his faithfulness through ancient, overarching covenants, binding agreements that set the terms of reality long before we were born. Take a look at this fractal map visualizing generational lineage. Deuteronomy 7:9 describes God keeping his covenant and mercy with those who love him to 1,000 generations. This scale outlasts empires, and that vast structure firmly locks into place because of the promiser. He declares, "My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that has gone out of my lips." This macro-level constancy doesn't stay trapped in ancient texts. It trickles directly down into the present moment, becoming the specific, individual calling of every believer. As 1 Thessalonians 5:24 puts it, "Faithful is he that calleth you." Together, these macro-level covenants and callings form an unbreakable historical ceiling over human existence. They guarantee the framework of reality, providing a structure we can entirely depend on. While the covenants provide the overarching framework, divine faithfulness also reaches into the immediate mechanics of the day-to-day. The prophet Jeremiah wrote in Lamentations that it is only of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. We survive day-to-day because his compassions simply do not fail. This graph illustrates the specific mechanics of that daily mercy. Instead of degrading over time, the compassion resets. It hits a perfect 100%, entirely replenished and new every morning, without fail. God's compassion is not a depleting reservoir that slowly drains as we make mistakes. It is a flawlessly engineered, self-renewing daily baseline that actively sustains the individual believer through every 24-hour cycle. Moving from the daily cycle to the microscopic, personal scale, we find the third domain, God's intrinsic character. This character forces him to act in 4 highly specific ways toward the individual. First, he forgives. 1 John 1:9 guarantees that if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Total cleansing is guaranteed entirely by his faithfulness, not our own merit. Second, he helps. 1 Corinthians 10:13 proves God perfectly calibrates our trials. He engineers a precise way to escape the pressure, ensuring that we are never tempted or tested beyond what we can bear. Third, he protects. 2 Thessalonians 3:3 promises that the Lord is faithful to establish you and keep you from the evil one, serving as an active daily guard. And fourth, he fulfills his promises. Hebrews 11 highlights Sarah, who conceived a child long past age. Even absolute biological impossibilities are overruled by the perfect reliability of the promiser. By forgiving, helping, protecting, and fulfilling, God demonstrates that his very nature stands as a persistent guardrail for the individual, intervening where human strength fails. Seeing these pillars aligned, the historical weight of the covenant, the daily rhythm of mercy, and the personal nature of God's character, provides a foundation that remains stable, even when the world around us doesn't. It's the exact realization captured in the famous hymn, "Great is Thy Faithfulness." The lyrics strip away all the complexity to reveal a simple truth. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. So if God is infinitely faithful in all these domains, what is the ultimate, final promise he has kept for humanity? It is the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. The specific record, defined in 1 Corinthians 15, is this: Christ died for our sins, according to the Scriptures. He was buried, and he rose again the 3rd day. Ephesians 1:13 points to a single response. Salvation is sealed when a person hears and believes this word of truth, the gospel of your salvation. The architect of this salvation is perfectly, flawlessly faithful. He has provided the structure, the mercy, and the sacrifice. You must make the choice to believe it today, because the time is short.
All right.
Amen. Boy,
Yeah,
oh boy,
amen.
that was intense, wasn't it?
Yeah. Two points before we get into the last segment here, Dave. On our GeorgeMagazine.com, we now are able to see all the backlog ones we put in.
Oh yeah. Okay. If you go to GeorgeMagazine.com and you go in the menu item topics, it'll drop down and you'll see dispatch. If you hover on that or tap that, it's going to open up a whole nother menu with all of the various categories that are in the dispatch. And there's one there of devotions. So you could tap on devotions and it'll give you all of these devotions that you've received in the dispatch over the course of time. And they're all in one spot now.
Even the political things, you can see the political, the election stuff.
And the
really
crypto,
quick,
the Bitcoin and XRP and AI and all of that, they're all there.
Guys, if you can, because I was wearing my George cap today, please go to the George store. It's right on George Magazine because we just fixed it up as well.
Oh, so yeah, we revamped the whole store, make it a lot easier to find stuff.
Yes. Okay, guys, let's finish up. Let's finish up here. We had an article in the Dispatch. Yes. AI is making huge changes in how wars are fought. We aren't ready for what comes next, but we'll show you today what comes next. Remember, and going back to it, if you've seen Top Gun, the first one, the jet fighter there, I believe, was the F-14 Tomcat. The other movie, I forgot which one they used for that, but right now the state of the art is the F-22 Raptor. Right. But right now, the next one up is called the 47, of course, named after President Trump, who is 47.
Yeah, this one's going to go crazy.
Okay, check this out, and then we'll finish up, and we'll 40 seconds to see this. And this has to do with AI, and this is what we've been saying with the AI, that it has to do with national security.
Right.
Here we go.
Flying in secret at over twice the speed of sound, and it's not flying alone. It's teamed up with a squadron of smart drones. Meet the Boeing F-47. Revealed in March 2025, the F-47 is America's next big leap in fighter jets. But the F-47 isn't alone. It's the leader of a smart fleet. It flies with collaborative combat aircraft, autonomous drones that act like loyal wingmen. They scout, block enemy signals, and strike, all while the pilot focuses on the mission. It's powered by adaptive cycle engines that smoothly switch from high-speed burst to fuel-saving mode.
See, so now you guys can understand. This is why China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and all those nations don't want us to advance our AI. They don't want us conceiving of and having all of this
right, because the power to run it has to have some sort of data center. Right. And if it's in other countries, we already, remember when we wanted to go into Spain with our airplanes? Well, right. You're in a war, you can't come in our territory.
Right.
What if these data centers were in Canada? Right? That's where we do the processing. It has to be in the United States. And this is just amazing. All right.
It has to be here. It's going to bring a lot of money into your towns and cities. They'll under the Trump administration, they're working on these AI companies will be paying for their own power and developing that themselves, which will inadvertently lower your power bills.
Right. Okay. Right. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you everyone for also watching the devotional. As you know, we really we tell you about going to the George store and getting the crypto book or whatever. But we really don't run commercials here. So thank you so much for letting us run that devotional.
That's right. Hold on a second, Gene. I got a call here. Cheyenne Mountain? Yes. Yes. Is this Cheyenne Mountain? Okay. Yeah. Are you serving McDonald's hamburgers tonight before the med beds? Okay. Thanks. I just wanted to confirm.
Oh, that's right. We just have, because you're going to get pork anyway. You get pork.
They got McDonald's there. They got a little, they got a little shopping center there. It's a little gas station, Mexican food, McDonald's. They got the whole thing going on. Cheyenne Mountain.
Guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, tomorrow's Friday, and looking forward to a busy weekend and just relax, and especially for all the fathers and Father's Day. But God willing, Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Want to thank you again, and appreciate you guys. Thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to go to georgemagazine.com and sign up for the Dispatch. It's free. Get the emails and the news stories. And check us out Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can check us out on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you then.